Very good morning to all of you. Welcome to the AZURE module of PGP batch, and good morning to one and all. We are starting with third module today. Okay. Ashok, good morning. Venkat Narendra from Nungambakam, good morning. Akash, good morning. Narendra, what is the problem? You are logging with guest ID, I think. Is it your student ID is not working? If so, write your student ID. I will send it to the next level people. They will activate your student ID. And even one more student. All the guest ID students, write your student ID and name. So that's sufficient for me. So that I will try from my side to activate your student ID. I will send these student IDs to the next level people so that they will activate your student IDs. Can I get your email ID? Why not? I will give you the ID. Wait. So I will give you. Just wait, Amit. I will give you. From Shimla Center, not only student ID, my dear, write your name also. Okay? In the same line. Student ID, give a space and write your name. Enough these two. Gas from Gatkoper. Okay. From Gatkoper, Gas. Okay. Yes, ma'am, I told to ma'am. She told I will log in soon. Okay, okay. From Nungambakam Center. It's Sohas, not Amit. Then you are logging with somebody's ID from a Sai Center. Sohas, I think you are logging with somebody else's ID. Am I right?
Hello.
Sohas, am I right?
Hello.
That you are logging with are you
No,
logging with your ID?
Yeah. I logged with my ID, but it shows the Amit Pandey's name.
Why so okay. So write
Maybe
the
it's
problem to
email.
me. I will escalate to next level. So you are logging with your ID, but still it is showing other thing, right?
No, it's showing my name, but when I message you, then it's show Amit Pandey's name.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Maybe it's a test.
The same problem, you write me in MI. Okay? How much I can help you, I will try to help you out. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, Swat. Neha, good morning from Dilshuk Nagar. Okay, Gunadevi from Shimla. Okay. Gomal Latha from Tambaram Center. Shubhangi, good morning. Okay, well and good. So what we are trying to do start now? It's module 3 of your AZURE. And 3 and 4 are the same topics, but continuation, different topics of the same web API. So first of all, before I am talking about the web API, I want to give you some awareness that what do you mean by a service and what kind of services right now we are going to use very popularly, and what is the difference between these two types of services, and what are the advantages and drawbacks. In every service, advantages also will be there, drawbacks also will be there. So if all are advantages and no drawbacks, everybody will go for that if other one is having drawbacks. So every service will have its own advantages as well as disadvantages also. So based on that, as per our current situation, we need to identify which one is best suitable for us in that current scenario. That is what is our requirement. Then after, if you identified how to create that service and how it works, that is the question comes again. So now first we will see what do you mean by a service and what are the different types of services are there right now in popular, and which we are going to learn also, and what is the difference between those services, what are the advantages and drawbacks that we will see now, and then we will start with the first type of services. That is what I will explain you. So I am sharing my desktop. Raghavan, good morning. Raghavendra, sorry, Sai Raghavendra. See module 3, and you can see that first of all, word service means something you are creating which is reusable. which is reusable means I will create one service with n number of functionalities in that. Now, this service you all can access from your applications. So why? Because it is service means only reusable component. Once you create, access it from multiple applications. The functions that you created here are accessible from different types of applications. That is what service. So but that type of services, how are you going to create? What are the techniques do you have? What are the different types of services you create? Long back we have a service called as a web services. Actually, at that time, now you are no more using that one. That is outdated because the drawbacks and advanced all are incorporated. That means drawbacks are removed, and whatever you found it, all the good features and whatever disadvantages, everything is covered in the another types of services. So we are no more using the web service. Long back we have this web service, and this web service is reusable component. It's like a simple class with multiple functions. All these functions you are able to access from other applications, but using what? Through the web only, using HTTP protocol only. So people used to access this using HTTP protocol access. That means communication to interact with that HTTP. But after interacting with that, whatever messages are transferring between these two, they will use a protocol called message transfers or what? Message transfer will happen with SOAP protocol, simple object access protocol, like that it is there. And generally, but message will be in which format? Message will be in the XML format. That is the standard format in web services. So that is generally previously long back. In that some drawbacks we found. To rectify all those drawbacks, then we came back to the other types. So that is what? The latest services that you are going to learn. There are two types of services you have. Both are reusable components. So what are those? Is HTTP based services we will call, and another one is called as SOAP based services. One is HTTP based, second one is SOAP based services. HTTP SOAP words indicate that they are protocols. Okay. First of all, without protocol, never ever communication happens, because those are the set of rules that governs how the communication has to happen. And without those HTTP protocols, first of all, never communication happens. Okay. But with what protocol am I using? If I am using HTTP protocol, HTTP based services. If I am using SOAP protocol, they are called as SOAP based services. If I am creating HTTP based services, so one advantage is what? No, that service can be accessible from different types of devices. Think so that you created one. I want access from my mobile, that service, yes, I can access. I want access from the laptop, I can access. So all these are possible. Okay. Very well, 1 minute. So that's the advantage. From any type of device, you can access that particular service. But only the thing is, you should use only HTTP protocol to access that service. You cannot use any other protocol to access that particular service. The name only says that this service is only accessible using the HTTP protocol. You cannot access it using any other protocol. But it is faster when compared with the SOAP protocols, SOAP-based services accessing. Why? Why that is, I am going to tell you or document camera later. Okay. So first advantage of HTTP protocols is we can access it from different types of devices. Why I am able to access from different types of devices this type of services means the communication happens in the using an architecture called as a REST architecture, REST. How many of you heard this word? I don't know. REST architecture means you can see representational state transfer. That's why wantedly E lowercase I wrote. RE stands for representational state transfer. This is a kind of technique which adapts the content as per the requirement from where your request is made. That means I made a request for this service from my mobile. So according to that, the message is converted in such a way that flexibly it will be displayed in your mobile. If I am accessing the same service from my laptop, so that it will be different. That means what, as per comfortable of laptop, it will be automatically formatted and displayed. That is a REST architecture. Okay, so that we are using to render the content in the devices. So because of which, from any devices easily you can access that type of services. Those are the advantages. And another advantage is we don't require any serialization, deserialization of the messages that are passed between client and server. I'm the one who is accessing the service. I'm the client, and that other one is server who is serving the service. So between these two, request responses will happen, right? This request and responses will pass in which format? Is it serialization, deserialization required? What do you mean by serialization, deserialization? I will tell you. Okay, that process is also not required. Direct communication can happen, but we don't require a process of serialization and deserialization. So some of you will get doubt, what do you mean by serialization? What do you mean by deserialization? You are the service and I'm the client. I want your service. I made a request, but from my application always will have the data in the format of class objects. This request is also in object format. Now my request is also in object format. So while passing this request, I cannot pass in object format. I must convert it into standard format like XML, and then only I need to transfer my request. So conversion of your request into standard format like XML or JSON, that is called as serialization. Conversion of your request into standard format before transferring the request to the service is the serialization process. Okay, again server is also an application that cannot understand in XML. So at the receiver end, what will happen? Again reconversion. That means your XML request was transformed into XML and it was translated, right? It was moved. And at the server end, it is reconverted into object format. So reverse operation is happening. That is called as deserialization. This serialization, deserialization processes will take some time for translation. So that is not required if it is a HTTP service. Direct communication is possible and we don't require to do any conversions. Whereas SOAP-based protocol, services, if you talk, you can use any type of protocol to access this service. Multiple protocols can be HTTP or non-HTTP. Any type of protocol you can use to access that type of services once you create it. And disadvantage is what? But when the communication is happening between the client and the service, so the request and responses must go for serialization and deserialization process, without which they cannot be transferred. Okay, so that will consume some time. Because of this, it is little slow when compared. So then HTTP only can you do it? Why do you go for the SOAP-based if you think? SOAP-based services are firewall friendly. Firewalls means you can run. Sometimes if any firewall is set in your computer, some of the websites you are unable to access. But if at all you are trying to access a SOAP protocol from any of the systems, firewall problem is not there. Without thinking of the firewall, it is accessible. But if at all in my system firewall is there and we are trying to access a HTTP protocol, sometimes it is denied. You are unable to access the HTTP service as because it is not firewall friendly. So like that, every SOAP based if you take it, or if you take it as HTTP based, you have the advantages as well as disadvantages also. And you need to remember that there is some theory part is there which you can see from your book. That is also I don't require tell. Whatever response and request and response are having, the request will be, I told that it will be converted into some XML format and will be sent. After conversion, see, I am sending a mail to you. Every message will have some header, some body, Okay, some information like that, some headers information, that means who sent, at what time you sent, some like that. If I'm sending a request also, it is divided into many sections. Your message it will be passed as a message. Request, HTTP request message. So in this HTTP request message, many partitions will be body part, header part, like that. Header represents what type of request you are making to the server, what are you doing, what is the protocol, which type of reply you are expecting from the server. That means whatever response you are going to get, in which format you are expecting, XML or JSON, what it is. Like that you have to, that the information will be passed in the header. Body will be empty in case of the request message, because I don't have any. You need to send me response when it is coming from the server to the client. That is called HTTP response message, which is sent by server to client. That is response message. Client, whatever it is sending is HTTP request message. It has some, in that message some parts will be there, header section, body section, like that. You please check that one in your textbook. Okay, you please go through that. Simple things you can do it. And whatever is sent as a response from the server to the client, that is called as HTTP response message, where body is not empty, because the response will be inside that body, which is called as content. Okay, think so that 2 and 3 I am sending you as the input. You are the service, which is a product function I am calling. So 2 and 3 I pass, that is input. So you have sent the output as what, 6. But this 6, whatever content is coming, it will come in the format of XML. So that's about different request and response messages. In this now, you have to learn both the services creation and working, HTTP based services and also SOAP based services. Both the place you think, remember, first you should learn how to create the service, then how to access the service from the other applications. Service means what I told, reusable component you are creating. Ultimately what you will do, you will access this one from the other applications. So that is what both the places. 3rd and 4th chapters completely you are going to learn how you are you understand? 3rd and 4th chapters completely web API. What is web API? Don't get confused. I told you that first we are going to learn HTTP based services. Under HTTP based services, what services will come means web ASP, web API services are there. They comes under HTTP based services. So creation of web API services, how you can how they will work, we need to check. How to handle the exceptions, we need to check. How we can, okay, service creation, exceptions handling, very good. But how to access this application, this service from other applications where I want to call the functions of this. These are the ones. Consuming time, many techniques will be there. All the techniques you need to learn. And at this place, I told you that jQueries are very, very important, without which you will find difficult. But the code is read, and I will tell line by line, I will explain you very easily. So we will start with, before I am going for that, once I am showing you how the request and response happens. Without, here we don't require any, serialization, deserialization process is not required, because it uses the REST format. Request and response, I don't think so that I have to draw. Client to server. Request will go, response will come. That is the arrow. And what is that using HTTP protocol? REST format. That is your diagram. So I am not going to show you that request and response. So now I am starting with what? Demos. How you can create web API, which is HTTP based service, and how you can execute, ASP.NET MVC applications means you can easily understand this one also, but the slight modifications, what are those? After creation I will tell. Okay. Now if I tell, you will not. I will compare with your MVC, how you used to have index action method, like that. Here also some other action method, but names are different, not index. Here it will be get. Okay. So get is equivalent to index in that whatever you have created. And how you can access that action method, get is default also here. How index is default action method in ASP MVC, here get is a predefined method that is automatically accessed. But in the URL, generally what you will do in ASP, After when we press Control F5, some domain address will come. At last slash controller name slash action method. But here one extra API word also will come extra. That is what I am going to tell you how to create. It takes hardly 5 to 10 minutes how to create the web API service. And how to handle exceptions also very simpler. And remember, this web API when I am creating, it returns some whatever it is returning, and that will be displayed for you either in JSON format or XML format, depends on from which browser you are trying to you are requesting that application. Okay, that service if you request from Internet Explorer, it will show in JSON format. If you request the same service to execute from the Google Chrome, it will show in XML format, so it adopts as per the browser. Okay, so any doubts till here in this theory concept, please ask me the doubts. If no doubts, I will show you practically how you can go for creation of your SQL services. Okay, I mean web APIs like that, how can you create, I will check. Please, all of you, please confirm me. Any doubts? Any doubts, you raise your hand, otherwise no issues. Any doubts you can ask me, because I'm going to start. So let me. How to create web API, can we start now? So click on plus if you are expecting to start with the demo. Little faster. How fast I will get the response I'm seeing now. I got it from 60% of the students, 65, 70. Still some of you did not click on the plus symbol. Now very fast I got it. I got it 90% means that's the maximum I expect. I cannot expect certain, because some of you, how many times I'll ask also will not click. So I don't want to miss others' time, right? That time, right, I feel, right? So I'll start with I got 90% of the response I got it from the students, so I'm moving ahead. So boys and girls, you see same as how ASP applications you create like that. You open your Visual Studio. Where is the small modification to create the ASP MVC web API services? Web API service application, how to create. So as usual, new project, there is no change in that. Take it as MVC4 application, there is no difference, that's also same. And give that web API demo. Okay, give the name as web API demo and click on OK. And now this is the place, your time starts here. Previously you have length, NT, basic, internet in ASP, right? But have you learned this web API? No. This is the template which you have to take in order to create web API services. In ASP, web API services can be created with the help of this template. You need to take web API, that's it. And click on OK or press enter. So that's the way how to create. By default, it will create some controller with some action methods. I'm going to show you now. So few seconds if you wait, it is about to add all the required elements. In that, if you really observe, there will be one control. What is the controller actually? If you take as internet or intranet, home controller will come automatically, right? Like that, here one controller named as values controller will come automatically. Here controller name is what, my dear? Here also default controller is home only, no doubt. But you can see that automatically you got some controllers. I'm expanding. See here, home controller, values controller. Okay, but home controller is normal controller. Don't forget about it. Why? Because I'll show you the difference. We open this one. Okay, can you see this controller? So see here, it is a general controller. So that you know that ASP.NET, whatever till now you have learned that one only. But you see the difference. This is the values controller which is inherited from not controller, API controller. So this is web API, not the previous one is not a web API. This is the web API service. where you can, whatever functionalities you are creating are the functionalities of your web API service. This is web API service. What is the name of the controller? You see, values controller. And what are the functions you got it? Two functions you got it. One is named as get. Another one is also named as get with one ID argument. Whereas first one is 0 argument, one is with ID. Like that many are there, you can leave them. Now I am going to explain you only these two. Okay. This is the default one, my dears, because you need to understand this is the default one. So think so that, and very important. Actually, how to access this one means what you will do, Control F5 you will press. You know that you will start execution. So, but it will start. It will go to which action of controller, home controller, index action method. But I want to call this method. It is default. I said method default, but its controller is not default. So what should I do? Generally, what you will do, after the domain name slash you will give, and then controller name as values, then you will give it as get. If you don't give get also, by default from the values controller, it will call it as get only, because default action method of the API, web API service is get method. If you don't specify get method, that is 0 arguments method. Now my question, there is a, this is actually will not work. One extra, if it is a web API slash is the extra to be given. Sorry, slash API is after slash API only controller name. This slash API is extra, which is not part of your normal controller. But if it is a API controller, so compulsorily you need to use slash at the after domain name slash API is mandate, slash then controller name, then slash action method name that you want to access. And if you don't specify, by default it will call get action method with one argument. Madam, I want to call this action method get with one argument. What should I do? You put like this slash, okay, give value like that. So immediately what will happen? Get action method taking this 4 as a value of ID, the internal code gets executed. That is what how to call it. Is it clear for you what is the extra how to do it? And remember, whatever by default it is showing that. Can you see that this 0 arguments get function is returning an array of the string. String array it is returning with 2 values, value 1 and value 2. And this returned value will be displayed either in JSON or XML format to you. Wanted I'll run from the Internet Explorer. I'll show that it will show in JSON format. If the same I'm executing from Google Chrome, I will get the same answer in the XML format. So that is browser to browser, the output rendering will change. That you need to remember, all of you. Okay. So I'm just for your knowledge, what I'm doing, I'm trying to execute it now, which returns how many values? 2 values, value 1 and value 2. In which format are you going to get this returned value? Let us see. Control F5 press. I'm just hiding my view for a while. I pressed Control F5. It's taking time. Just wait. It is coming. Okay. So it will go to home controller index action method. So you need to write at the end. See here, wantedly I'm writing as values and slash. So get, I mean like that, but it will not work. It will say that error. So why it is saying error? It is there. Let me give at least get. Might be it will. It's not get a problem. The problem is what? Can everybody write what is missing here that we have to do it? I told yes. Monica, wanted I did not give because you should understand. If it is web API slash values to be given, by default it will call get method with 0 arguments. Correct? Monica gave correct answer. Thane Center 04 gets Paris Center student gave the correct answer. Very good. That's what I'm saying. You have to check. Now you see that whatever you got it is in the XML format, as because I executed from the Google Chrome. Please check, boys and girls, in my application what is there here? I have selected as Google Chrome, so I have got it in see the data, it is coming in the XML format. This is XML format. The same what I am doing, I am executing once again, taking here as Internet Explorer. I am taking as Internet Explorer. Now I am pressing Control F5. And I am going to give you in the URL at last API slash values. See here now, observe, you people are unable to see, so I'm medium size. Wanted like medium size, don't get confused, because it will not show directly data. Instead, it will show like this. Can you see that? Like this, it will ask values dot JSON, because I told that it will show in JSON format. Open, say like that. Let me open. So see the same value. This is the JSON syntax, my dear. The data which is coming in array format in square brackets, it will display. This type of format is called as JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. So this is, so that means based on browser to browser, the data will be rendered in a different style. Is that clear to all of you? Any doubts? Any doubts? Please raise your hand, my dears. Any doubts you can raise, so I will clear and I will move ahead. Raise your hand and ask me if you have any doubts. JSON is how XML. XML, you know, Monica, XML how is one of the formats to transfer your data. Like that, JSON is also one standard format to transfer the data, but only the thing is, it is used in the Java enabled applications only. Okay, to transfer your data in JSON format also we can transfer, but mostly we will use JSON full form JSON. First of all, JASON, not wrong, JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object Notation, JSON. That's also one format. You go to the Google, you search for that, you will understand about it. Okay. That's also like XML, one standard format to transfer the information from client to server. So, but mainly that will be used in the Java enabled applications. Okay, that's the only thing. So, very good. Now, my question, now my requirement is, I want to call the get function with ID argument. One int ID argument function is there, which I want to execute. So, for that, what should I do? So for that, let me do a small modification. What it is returning, my dear? For your understanding, return plus, okay, id dot string I am giving. So don't get confused. So if I am sending 5, value 5. If I am sending 1, value 1, it should return. That is my feeling. So I am executing. Simply it gave value means it doesn't look good for you. So it's an Internet Explorer, my dear. So here what you have to give? API slash values slash 4 I gave. I pressed enter. So it is saying 4.json open. So open, can you see that value 4 is the answer, which is concatenated value you are getting. So that is JSON format. The same you execute from the Chrome, so that you will get in XML format. Whatever you pass, it has been taken by your ID variable. How did I give the URL, my dear? At last, API slash values slash, okay, some 10 I am giving. Okay, 10 I gave. So the 10 automatically goes to ID property. One argument get function now gets executed, taking this 10 as the value of ID, and it gives the value. Now, you observe, value 10 is the one which you are getting. That's the way how you can access one argument get function. So here, whatever he wrote, I don't like. I want to modify the code. I don't want this to return enumerable string. I will create one model class named as some product, and I'll create a number of product class objects, and I will group as a list. That list I want to return. So for that only I told in this notes why I had same work, but I want to do with string array. It is returning. I don't want string array. Let me create my own model class, and let me create my n number of objects for that, and all these objects let me group it with one list. This list I want to return. So what should I do at that time is, so simply you create a one product model class. I'm going to show you. Okay. After creation, in your values controller, you declare one list object of type what? Product type of, that means this is the list object obj, which can hold n number of objects of which type? Product class objects only it can hold. And very good. So now what am I doing here? there is a constructor. You can see that the same name as class name is it's a constructor. In the class constructor, I'm not leaving this as this is empty right now, right? I created an object for that, and I'm adding n number of objects for that. See, product class objects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects. I will write now for you. Okay, you don't worry. All these I'm adding to obj. So obj is not empty now. 5 objects are there. Product class objects are there. And that objects, now from the get, I'm returning that obj. That means what? Product class, 5 product class objects you grouped into obj, that I'm returning. When I'm returning that one, I should not say that here string. Are you observing return type I have changed? Actually in that one string is there, INAVariable string. String place you change your class name. Because this will list, INAVariable is list, okay. But what type of list? Product class objects list. So return type has to be changed. The string you have to replace with this. Now you execute and check how well it will come. That's one. And get function, get with one argument is there. Whatever number you are giving, that particular record should be searched in your list of products. That means product ID I am giving as 3. Second get function. ID 3 if I am providing in this 5 list of products. Where ID is 3, that record only I should return. Instead of all records, only that particular record to be returned. So how I can do the modification in this existing one, I am going to show you. Is the scenario clear to all of you? So is whatever I am trying to do, scenario clear means well and good. So practically how to do it, I am going to show you step by step. First of all, get with 0 arguments, get with 1 argument. Did you understand or not? How to access them, you understood or not? Please confirm. If that is you understood, little modifications because it is giving its own code. But I want to modify as per my requirement, so I am going to modify. After 3 or 4 demos of this, I want to give you what is the value of AZURE. You may think and you have some doubt till now. We are learning ASP like that only now. AZURE is meant for something else, for hosting if your application deploying, right? So one application I will deploy. Sitting here I will create one application and I will deploy. And I will share the URL which I am getting. Immediately from your end you can access my application. Because I am hosting in the global area. I will host today. For all of you, subscription will take 3 to 4 days before you come from, you know that maintenance days next week. Next 3 classes on next Friday only. Okay. Next week till Thursday, it's maintenance days. No theoretical sessions for any of the batches. Throughout the no classroom sessions. Okay. Only next Friday is your theoretical session, next session. Nungambakam gets 005, Porur Center gets 01. Except these 2 students, everybody confirmed yes. Very good. Who is this? Please scroll down the code. Monica, these functions are other things like deleting record, updating record, inserting record, like that. So these you forget it now. We are doing only for retrieval work now. Okay. Insertion, deletion, like that. Also with the databases creation time we need to. That you forget it. Only we are working with the first 2 methods. Yes, there is no classroom session till next Thursday, Nilesh. So now let us see what I am doing. I am going to create one model class. Everybody knows how to create the model class. That's also I don't require to tell the steps. I am going to create a model class with the name as product. Okay, I am giving as product and what columns I require. So I to save the time only, because everybody knows these are the 4 properties. What is that? ID, P name is product name, and price and quantity. These are the 4 properties. I'm sorry, I have to paste here. So my model class creation is done. So just compile for a while. F6 also is sufficient for doing the compilation. Okay, I have created my model class. Now what is my model classes? I have to create 5 to 6 product class objects, put it, group them as a list, and from that list object to be returned from my get with 0 argument, whereas get with 1 argument, wherever whatever ID value I am accessing, so receiving, that related I need to set that ID in the ID column of your product details. Wherever it is matching, only that record to be returned, not all records. I'm filtering and returning. Yeah, next class is on 28th, Dharmendra. So let me continue with the class ones, okay? So now, Solution Explorer, now what we have to do, we should go to our values controller. In this values controller, I told you that inside the class one global variable you declare. What is that global variable? List variable of what type of list? Product class. Sorry, if it is not coming, don't get confused. Models dot, otherwise what I'll do, using models, you write, it is always best using models, not models, simply models, your application name, web API demo dot models. You give like this, my dear. Once you give like this namespace, directly you are able to access that product class name. Now you see you got it. So PRDS is my object name, and create one constructor public values controller. This is constructor where I want to minimum 5 to 6. Next class is on 20th, Shubhangi, not 24th. Please check and then you respond, okay? In middle of the class, people are asking what is the group name, I'm joining me, so should I teach or group name I should tell. So you people understand, in middle if you ask like that, I cannot help you out. You just wait for some time. When I stop this topic, then you ask. Otherwise it is distracting me completely. You understand from my point of view also. So where should I concentrate? So those subject wiseness you ask now, because I am teaching this one. After this you ask the group name I'll share. In this values controller, now you see all of you, for product class P1 is equal to new product, in the curly brace open close, give the values of the properties. ID is equal to 1, not 1, and P name is equal to mouse, and what is that? Price is equal to 500, quantity is equal to 5. So this is the first record I have created like that. Let me create 4 more. See, P1 means anywhere or not, that's why it will show like that. Don't get confused. Change the object names as P1, P2, P3, P4, and this you change it as 104, 102, 103. Okay. Mouse, keyboard, CPU, memory, something, hard disk, I mean that hard disk, whatever you think of it. Price is 5,000, so 50,000, keyboard 1,500, quantity 10. Okay, something I have written, 4 objects I created. For these 4 objects, how to group them as a single. That's the reason I have created this variable PRDS is equal to new product. Okay, now PRDS, that's a list, empty list. Now I'm adding for that my P1 object. For the same one, I'm adding P2 object. For the same one, I'm adding P3 object. For the same one, I'm adding P4 object. So there are 4 objects I'm going to add. So now my product is not empty. It has 4 product details. That means 4 objects are there, product objects. Now from here I want to return enumeration of not string. It is product class object, product class list object I am returning, and this is what I am returning, PRDS I am returning. So that is my list object. Video stuck. Amit, that means not Amit, some other name you have told. Suhas. Okay. Check now it is working. Next class is on 20th. Please wait, and that's why let me continue this and then I'll speak to you. Okay. So I have done, and at the same time here I am taking some ID. In this one I have to search for one record product. PRD is equal to. So how do you do it? PRDS dot find. What should I find for what record in the record structure, or that what on which column? ID value of records must be equal to whatever ID I have given. Dot first means first one. No, it's not required. So I have retrieved. This means that fetching in the PRD. This is list argument, list object. In that list 4 products are there. In that for each record, R for record, R means R you don't write a record name anything. From this PRD, each record I'll treat it as R. In that ID column value, if it is matching with whatever value I have received, that record's reference you get it. If at all it is not found, it will be null actually. So simply what am I doing here? Return PRD. Whatever you have retrieved, such record only you are returning, but not enter PRDS. This is returning all, but this is returning only required. So why it is showing red color, madam, is PRD is a product, so return type is what? String. So it is giving error, so you have to modify small things. So that type of small things you check and do it. Now work is finished. I'm hiding the view and I'm showing. Yeah, I have to change to Monica product. That's why I changed. Okay, correct. 1 minute, all of you. Okay, now I'm executing. In the execution part, you all of you check how is it going to perform. I'm writing as API / values, only values, not flash for letters. Okay. Then I'm taking all the records I have to get open. Can you see that all are coming in the JSON format? See that. First square, this is square bracket open, this is the array. Okay. In the array, every element in the curly brace open closes one element, comma, second element, comma. This is the JSON format, how it follows. So this is in the JSON format you are getting. No, I did not create this list. You can create. 100% Joshan, 100% what you said is correct. 100% it is true. You can create this in the global.asx and you can access with MVC application dot that list me. That is your wish. Okay, that you can do it. And for all of you, one information. Today there is a grooming and database connectivity from ASP application. So for doing like login page or registration, if people are unable to do that small things also, so for that there is a grooming session at 1:30 to 3:30. Whoever is interested to get that information about how you can go for registration or login pages creation on your own without the help of the membership, you can wait for 1:30 to 3:30. I'm going to give you the idea clues and I'll show practically and I'll show you. Okay, in the grooming session at 1:30 to 3:30. That's information from my side. I explained, I gave you, so that many of you in the project time are unable to do this registration page and login page also. So to give the awareness, I am going to show you practically. That is the grooming session. Okay. Previously only theoretical questions we used to tell. Now practically I am going to show you database connectivity from your ASP application. Okay. Now that's about how you can now. The same one I am executing once again. This time I am saying that API / values 4 I guess, not 4. 4 we don't have, my guess. 103 I am giving. 103 if I am giving, you just click on open. Only 103 record I am going to get. So I am searching and I am getting. Well, very good. And again you write now API / this 103 place. By mistake you give 1003. But do we have any record? Do we have any record? Do you have any record with this Vasai Center student? Please wait, I'll tell you. There is no record. Then what will happen? You observe it is saying that open, but it is null. it will show as null. But it should not say like this. Instead, if you don't have, it should not say open, after opening null. It should not say like that. This is not no way allowed. Instead, it should redirect us to a page stating that some error page. Some error page, that means no more records, bad request, like that, some message to be displayed. To that page it needs to be redirected, but it should not say simply that open and after opening null. I don't want this. Are you getting my point, all of you? There is no record, so but you are trying to access, it will show the page, but with null is the word. Because there is no record, it's an error, that means you have written, what is, when you search here, is there any record was found in your PRDS with 1003? No, so what will be written in PRD? Null. So what you have written, null. It is not the correct technology. That time we have to apply the exception handling. Simple exception, 1 minute of time it will take. Thane Center student is asking what is this find method. So you are on air, Thane Center, is it working? No audio is working, video is working for you, but okay. So find means searching. So actually PRDS is what? It's a list in which 4 products are there. In that I am searching for, find means search for a record. Inside this there are 4 records. In whichever record ID column value is equal to, this is one of the columns in your product. There are 4 product class objects are there in PRDS. Each one will be considered one record. In each record I have many columns like ID, product name, price, quantity, right? So I want to search based on whatever I received as ID. I want only that particular product's details, not all products details. So it's my duty to search for that ID, where every record, whichever record ID column value is equal to the value that I received, that record to be displayed. So this is filtration. So it has 4, but it will search for the record in which ID column value is equal to what is received by us. If that is true, that values, all those records will come into this, that record will come into PRD, that I am returning. If it is not found, it will return null, so that null is returned by us. That is also displayed. But that is not should be my technology. Then what should I do? That is the time I am telling you exception handling. See, are you seeing? Exception handling. A simple logic. It's simple. After you have done this type of work, you check, is it not equal to null means okay, return it. Not equal to null means found the record. If it is null, not found. So simple command to redirect us to an error page. Whatever error page is in your hands, your bad request page or page not found page, whatever request you want. Which error page you want to move to instead of showing like that. So if it is null, I'm saying that throw. What exception? HTTP response. This is HTTP application services. HTTP response exception, because when I am sending the response, 0 records. It's a null. That's why response I am giving an exception. Response is exceptional. So in that exception, what is the message to be displayed as the what message to be displayed in that exception? So that is in the bracket new HTTP response message. What is that message? So is it bad request? Is it a file not found, or what it is? So that is your message. So HTTP status code dot. When you put status code dot HTTP, automatically n number of list of the errors will be displayed which are predefined. If I am taking bad request predefined error page. It's all these are predefined error pages. Which error page to be displayed, you need to select with the help of the simple command HTTP response exception in the bracket, new HTTP response message in the bracket, HTTP status code means error code. Which error page should I redirect? Dot if you place, automatically it will show n number of error, means whichever you want that can be redirected to. So you want to check that one means now it is coming null, right? So you don't return first. If PRD not equal to null means okay, then you return it. No two doubts, return it. Else, if it is not that one, so what I have to throw new HTTP response exception in the bracket, new HTTP response message in the bracket, HTTP response code, status code. I'm really sorry. Status code means error code. Dot. Now I told you that you will get many error predefined pages list. So accepted, ambiguous, bad gateway, bad request, whatever you want, you select and close it. Now run the same one. Now I'm running. All of you please check. Okay. It is possible to check on, yes, you can check on pname, but the argument data type should not be integer, okay? Anybody can check on anything. So Shimla student is asking, can we check on, yes, you can check on pname, but the column data type should be changed, argument data type of the get. Instead of ID, you make it change it. You can do it. Now, all of you see my dears, I'm giving API. And here 1003 first we will do, which is available. I am saying this one, so open means I am getting the details of it, well and good. And now I am going to give API/values in the place of this 1003 I gave, which is not found actually. So now I am giving enter. You can check that I was redirected to a page called as bad request page. How do you know that it is bad request page? Madam, slowly come down, my dears. Can you see more information here? You expand, you will understand that it's a bad request. See here, this error page 400 is a bad request. Okay. So like that, whichever error page you are expecting to be displayed, you need to select that one, but you should have idea of what are the different exception pages are there. You please go through some very important ones and you do the trials. So this is the way how you can go for exception handling. That's it. That is the way how you can go for exception handling. Any doubts in this section? Single line. If it is not null, return that object. If it is null, that means record was not found. So display some error page. You redirect to some other error page. That is the only concept I said. Is it clear to all of you? This exception handling, a single line code that I have used. So I want you people to confirm me. Now meanwhile, in the notepad, and some of you asked about the group name. So without wasting, boys who asked about the group name, you can check, okay, PGPV3 _ 2 _ AZURE. So I'm moving, okay. PGPV3 _ 2 _ AZURE is the name of the group. CP Center, somebody asked. Please check and you can do it. Neha, no answer from you, my dear. And Sahil from Amit. From Vasai Center, the student did not give the answer. Raise your hand and confirm me. Purur Center student guess 01, no answer. Nungambakam guess 005. Who is guess 005 from Nungambakam? I want you to raise your hand and confirm me. Ma'am, I can't see question. Okay. If you can't see the question, now my question, what I said, did you understand this exception handling or not? So Vasai Center student, now you answer. Okay, CP Center, you can. So you have taken the group name, so well and good. What about Porur Center student? There is one student from Porur, but I did not get a message from that student when I have been asked the question. Even guess 005 from Nungambakam. Who is guest 005 from Nungambakam? 100%. Preeti, are you checking every day? I am going to post all these documents. See, that's why I already prepared how much time it will take for me to post. I will post, but after the classes. And one of the students asked for the confirmation. What did you say for 1:30 to 3:30, madam? So I said that whoever wants to learn how you can do simple database connectivity for doing login pages or registration pages, some of you are unable to, you are stucking at the first place only. So what about the next work is secondary. But you are stucking at one place, you don't know how to do the login on your own. Membership if you are taking, that is okay. But at that time, registration time, all the details is it will ask? No. It will ask only username and password. That is not like a registration. Some name, first name, your date of birth, some details you want to take it as a registration form. So, and you want to create tables as per your requirement. Then how are you going to create the login pages and connect it to your database and check whether user ID password correct or not? Based on that correct means redirect to next page. Not correct means displaying. So such type of database connectivity from your ASP application I'm going to show you at 1:30 to 3:30 in grooming session. So anybody is interested, you can connect to that session. Okay. To get what is ID, to get all records we should mention ID. No. All records means which method, Monica? Get method with 0 arguments. Get method with 0 arguments means how are you going to execute? Execute, and in this one API / values only you give. Don't write anything. Then what will happen if you don't write ID? Then it will be executing get method with 0 arguments. Then 0 arguments one will return all the records. So I just press enter. You will get all the records. Okay, you got all the records. You can check. Got it. Okay. So before I'm going to the third demo like that, I want to show you the power of your Azure portal. In order to tell that power of Azure portal that you are learning in such a way that I simple application. Okay, this application is only there which is very nicely working. This application I want to make it available to all of you to access. So if it is in my computer, how do you access? No, it is not even the internet. I did not host it to access. Now I want to host in such a way that from where you can access. So that is, that means in the cloud I want to host it with the help of what? Azure portal. So in my Azure portal I am going to show you. So once it is activated subscription for you, the same practical even you can do. Okay. So I am going to show you the steps. Before, so requirement and everything I am going to write now. This is on pausing our web API because you should, and this is the demo I thought of showing in the first day or second day, because even for my account Azure subscription is not added. I am not in a position to show. Now it was added for my account, so I can show you the demo. Okay. So what I am trying to do now, so hosting our web API application in cloud with the help of Azure portal. Okay, what is that Azure portal? Your URL, Azure portal URL I am going to write for you for a while. Just I'll copy paste from my system. 1 minute. Azure portal URL is, this is the, so full I was not selected. 1 minute, my dear. The complete one I was not placed. Still it is giving like that. Why? See, this is your Azure portal. How Google means www.google.com. Like that, this is the URL to log in into your Azure portal. And everybody should give manage.windowsazure.com. When you give like that, what will happen? Let me show you now. I am hiding my view for a while. Please check how I am entering into the Azure portal. Same way you need to enter. Okay. I am giving in this one in your. For these steps I will tell you, don't worry, okay? First I'm giving you the awareness of this portal, then I will show you how you can host your application. What are the steps also I will write in the notepad. When I'm doing, I will explain you. So let's see, last time I have logged in. That's the reason already logged in accounts it will show it to you. But this is my account for which AZURE subscription was added. If it first time you are doing, it will not show like that. Directly it will ask you user ID and password. Okay? So now it is showing from second time onwards, but it will ask you need to wait parole for 3 to 4 days because it has to be for the entire all the students I am going to send today, so that it will take 2 to 3 days or 4 days. So that before you come from the break, that means after the maintenance days, when you come, it will be ready for you. Okay. So this is my username. Password has to be typed. And I am clicking on sign in. This is the AZURE portal, my dear. AZURE portal, how it will be, you can check. Let me check some of the websites. It is very slow, it will be. So let me connect to other faster network. Now you will get very fastly. Wait. It's displaying, just wait. You are seeing left side, right side corners, blue color, you got it. It is about to display the portal. It takes little time. If it is fast network, it will be very faster. It's saying loading. So okay, Windows AZURE is coming as a title. So now you can see that this is the AZURE portal, Windows AZURE portal window. Left side you can see many items like all items, web apps, virtual machines, like that. All items we are not going to learn, but we will work starting time with web apps. What is that I will tell you, don't worry. Now this is the portal, keep it aside and let us go to write the notes in the notepad. So what are the steps? Our requirement I wrote that I have to what is my requirement? In this portal, using this portal, after logging in, I have to go for that hosting of my application. First, what you will do, you know that you create your application. So create your application only to tell. If you created only, you are about to host. That's it. So, but your application, if you want to host, this is my AZURE host. This is my application in my local computer. This I want to host in this AZURE portal. Yeah, so if I'm putting in AZURE portal, it will put it in the cloud. Well and good. But how? So who need to give permission? Your application will give permission to AZURE, or AZURE portal should give permission to you? Think and tell me. AZURE, from AZURE portal, should I take the permission or should I give the permission to AZURE portal? Yes, I want your help. So you are the commander or I am the commander? I will say, help me, I'll ask. No. So you need to give me the permission so that I can take your help, right? Same manner, what is this is, so you can, Akash, you are saying show code please, you are saying I will show you, whichever code you are asking, just I will show you, but just wait for some time, okay? I have not checked your query, please wait. So your first work is, so you need to take the permission from AZURE portal with a configuration file. There is a app settings, there will be a settings file for giving the permission to you. Settings file, publish settings. I should write it as a publish settings. To publish your application in the AZURE with the help of your AZURE portal. So a publish settings file needs to be downloaded, created and downloaded from AZURE portal is the first one. That means that the publish settings file if you download, that needs to be attached to your application so that it will be hosted automatically there. That means you are giving a green certificate to me. So with the help of this, I am processed. So I will get the permission to go to the, that means I want to go to somewhere. So for that I need some green card. For that you only should give me the permission to me if at all I am the authorized person. So who can create? That means these publish settings can be created only from Azure portal. If you have the Azure portal, then only you can create and download, right? So you are the right person who is downloading. Using this, you attach that publish setting file to your application, so automatically it will be hosted with the help of your Azure portal in the cloud. And it creates one URL also. So for this, what are the steps you need to do? The steps for this, you need to create one empty application web app in Azure portal. Why empty app means that is the app into which I am going to host my application files. I have in my application hundreds of files. These are all I want to host. Where should I host? Some empty applications should be there. So into which I will host my application files. So I created one empty application and create one publish settings file for this web app and download this file into your machine. Okay, this is the work. So how to do it, I will show you. Those steps I will show you. It's not a very difficult, very simple. After downloading that, attach this publish setting. Using this publish settings file, host, that means host you, right? Otherwise publish your application into cloud with the help of Azure portal. Finish. Only 2 steps. So actually main steps are 2. In the first step again sub-steps. So where should we go first? Your Azure portal, you should go first. So how to go to that one? I'm hiding my video for a while because you should see the complete screen of that. So how to create empty application into which my application files to be stored in the Azure portal means I have to see that. Can you see that web apps here? So you click on that. Then if at all any web apps you created previously, all will be listed here. But we don't have. So we did not create any web apps till here. So this is the first one after Azure subscription I am opening. So you need to click on this create a new web app, or else I am going to show you, which you cannot see. I am just decreasing the size of the window wide because you can see that not only here, you can see at the bottom, whenever you are taking as web apps, there is a new button will be there at the bottom. Either one you can take it. If I am taking here or here, it is correct. If I am clicking, immediately you came to a place where it is saying that cloud service like that. So 1 minute, I'll show you. 1 minute, my dear. What is this? 1 minute. I am unable to see this one. So here, see here, whenever I am taking, can you see that automatically this screen you got it? In this web app, you need to select quick create, and immediately what is the URL you are expecting to give for this after hosting, with which URL you are thinking of accessing your application. So URL is your choice. So what URL? Because we are PGPV3_2_ first app. I'm giving the name as PGPV3_2_ first app I said. Okay, but you are thinking that this is not allowing. It is saying that red color means something wrong. First Azure app. Otherwise, what is the error? The field can contain only letters, numbers, and hyphens. Okay, so hyphen will give. Okay, underscore is not allowed. That's why it is giving error. Are you seeing? So it gave the error message also. So PGPV3_2_ Azure first app, and whatever you give also, At last, computer adds this one. Can you see .azurewebsites.net? .azurewebsites.net is mandatory. So whatever you give .azure apps, that means indirectly my URL, only for your knowledge I am writing in the only for you I am pasting here. This I wrote, but computer will write Azure. You can see here azurewebsites.net. So azurewebsites.net is your entire URL with which you can access, but it is not yet finished. You just selected, it is saying green, so it is allowed. Okay, it is not existing one. So now you no need to do anything, my dears. You just see at the bottom, you can see I am moving the mouse at the bottom right corner. See, create web app tick mark. That tick mark you need to click. That's it. Just wait. It will say that status. See here, creating. So you need to wait till it says that it is creating. It is complete. That means status changes to created like that. You need to wait. Still see running. You got the message is running, so it has been created. Empty application has been created, but that empty application, to host in that empty application, one publish settings of file as of to be taken. So that publish settings file, where is that publish settings of file is the question that you used to get. So here you see that it is in running. Now if you place the mouse pointer on this name, it will come like a hyperlink. You just click on that, my dear. So all of you click on this. So that I went to a page where you can find that publish your app. Can you see publish your app? In this one, first option, download the publish profile. Publish settings profile. So computer, for this current application, in case if anybody wants to store their application in this empty web application, so they can take the help of this publish settings. Just click, so that it is asking you where to save. At the bottom it is asking, you can't see, that's why. See, this is the problem. Where to save it is asking, so you can say that. So I'm saying that save as on the desktop. I'm taking it as on the desktop. I'm taking on the, see, what is the name of that PGPV3-2-Azure first app .azurewebsites.net.publish settings. This is the name. Computer will take automatically. I save this publish settings. So entire first step is finished. Done. Yours is finished. Okay. Please check. Create the publish settings. See. Create one publish. Create, I should not say. The publish settings file for the web app needs to be downloaded into your machine. Okay. Okay, that is that. These are the first two steps are over. So now you are ready with that publish settings file which was created, which you have saved on the desktop, right? So everything is, first step is over. So creating one empty web application into which my application files to be hosted in the Azure portal. So I created, and in order to put my files into that, I should have the permission. How I am getting the permission? I downloaded the public. And anybody why they will download? This is my web application, Azure site. Can you access? You cannot access. You cannot create publish settings. I am the only person who can enter, and I am the only person who can download the publish settings. If I want to share this publish settings, I can give it to you for your work. That is different. Okay. So one publish settings only to upload one application only. So now very good. I have done my first task. Next, last step, second and last step. Now you publish your application into this Azure portal where you have created one empty application. So how simply you can do? Go to your application now. Go to your application. Once better you build it. So I built, that means compiled. Now you go to solution. On your application name, right click. What you have to do, right click and go for publish. There is a command called as publish, you can see. Just go for publish. When I went for publish, it is saying Windows Azure websites import, like that it is saying. So let me click on this import, because I have already published settings file which I have downloaded. So import from, whenever I am clicking, first time to check whether you are the right person or not. So it will ask Azure website user ID and password. So this is my user ID and password. So I'm giving the password only for keep me signed in. This next time onwards it will not ask. Okay, only for first time. Now it is giving this text box. Where is your publish settings? It is asking to attach to this file so that it will be hosted in the Azure. So browse, you take it, and where I have saved, my dears, I have saved it on the desktop, and I have, this is the file of mine. This is my publish settings file. I clicked on open and clicked on OK. So most of, see, all everything, these are all I have to give, but computer has given because of the publish settings. All these has come. Very nice. Now you simply click on, see, boys, and you are unable to see girls and boys at the bottom. You know that wizard means bottom, previous, next, publish, some close, like that. There is one button which you can't see at the bottom. There are, see, I'm just holding like this. You please check at the bottom, you can find the small 4 buttons are there. Only top part you can see. Third button is publish. Don't do anything. Simply click on publish. So it started publishing, but you have to wait for few seconds because it has to, now it is hosting all your application files into that empty web API. So it is hosting, just wait. Once it is hosted, automatically application will be opened in your browser. Now I'm sharing. All of you ready with internet is there in your system, well and good, and everybody should raise your hand and confirm me, are you able to access my application or not. But just wait, it is not yet completed. Doing it, it is completing. Just if you wait, it is that. It's taking time actually. Because many files, it's taking time to upload. So it is still uploading. Just wait. Many files. See how many files. Now it is finished, done. Check it immediately. You are getting the, which is hosted in the Azure. That is from the Azure it is opening. Not from your computer it is opening. From the Azure it is opening. Please check. It is opening from the Azure portal. Please check. So I got it. Say don't say that this is Azure portal. This is the application which is open from your Azure. Can you see this one? So I'm just copying this one for your understanding. So all of you, just to see how the computer has given, whatever we get same URL, please check it. I have shown you HTTP colon, this is the one, computer will take it, I told. Now all of you try with this URL, you are able to access the my application or not, please check. I created in my computer, but you try to access just in the browser, you type this. All of you type this one in the browser, either in the Google Chrome or in the Internet Explorer. And I want everybody to respond now. Yeah, you should get the permission, Monica, that you will get it in 3 to 4 days. Whoever doesn't have the internet connection, nothing can be done, but let others. I think that most of you will have the internet connection. So this URL which I highlighted, you type in your browser and immediately, who will give first answer? Madam, it is working. Vamshi from Dilshuk Nagar, not able to access the. Why you are unable to access the site? 100%. It's working. See, other students, Pankaj already told from Pitambra that it's working. Please check properly, my dear. HTTP : Neha from Vamshi. Oh, Neha from Vamshi. Okay, Neha. Neha, check it once again. Ashok is saying working. Very good. Are you observing how far? How much time you took to host it? You tell me. Hardly 5 to 10 minutes. The explanation I'm doing, that's a more time. Really, without explanation, if you start doing, it will take hardly 5 minutes for you to host and all doing this. If it is a very big application with thousands of files, then it may take 15 minutes or 20 minutes like that. So Thane Center student, Maunika, Shimla student, okay, working, Dipali saying working, Narayan, it shows as, no, check properly, my dear. There is some problem in your system, might be because of some firewall or anything, please check. Working, because all others are saying working here. Amit, see, not Amit, who is this? Sahil, I think. I forgot the name, but Amit, with Amit ID, who is attending Vasai Center, write your name again. I forgot your name. So sorry. You remember? Yes, Sohas. I remember that with yes, it is start. Okay, Sohas. Others also please respond. 40 students, around 38 students are sitting in the class. And I got it only from 10 students. I don't think so that everybody doesn't have the internet. Some of you have the internet. We require only internet. You don't require ASP.NET, MVC. I mean, Visual Studio also not required. Deepika is saying that working. Very good. Very slow net, Preeti. Okay. Working, yay. Oh, Thane Center. Look for messages, you people. So I think now you will understand the value of Azure. Not only this one, you can do multiple things with this Azure. So think so that SQL Server everybody might be having in your system. You have installed. You created one database in your computer. But I am also working on the same project, but in my computer the database is not there. If it is there also, if I am doing any modification, it affects my computer database. It will not affect yours. Your modifications will not affect. So this, I don't want these many copies. I want one centralized copy. You can work and I can work, others can work with the same database. So can I create database? How I hosted like that? Can I create database inside the Azure portal so that I can access that database from my SQL server? That means might be software is mine, but database I am accessing from the Azure portal. So that not only me, everybody can access that portal. That is the advantage. Ma'am, no internet connection. Okay, Parul, working, not working because net is not working means it does not mean that it's not working. It's working. Okay. From Dilshuk Nagar also I got the answer. Vinay, very good. Akash, Roxy in our center. Okay. So that's about how you can use. Where is Joshan? I did not get message from Joshan. Joshan is there today or not? Joshan, is it working for you? Haripriya? Monica responded, Srimati responded. But what about other students from Nungambakam? And Porur Center, Paris, Srinagar, Dilip, Nirosha? Vinay responded. I can see. I got answers. Porur, very good. Nilesh, no. Haripriya, working. Dilip, none is working. Because there's proxy setting. Okay. So, well and good. That's about how you can do it. And how to create database like that additional works if you want. Anytime when I do the cloud consultation, that time I can help you out. Okay. So, now all of you check what we have to do. We will switch back to our original topic, Web API. This is just for your knowledge because you need to understand. I have shown you. It's not difficult. Very, very, very simpler. Okay. So that's I just gave you the idea about your Azure portal. So where we should go now? Again, we should be back to our application where we have learnt only 2 demos, but that's true. What you created the service, you are not trying to access from other applications. Simply you are giving Control F5 in your application executing. But my requirement of service is not that. I want to access from other places. Simple thing. I have 2 controllers. We have seen that there are 2 controllers which are automatically created. The Alice controller is your service. But from the home controller is normal controller that we have seen in your ASP. In this index action method is there. From this action method is calling me one view. In that view from that view I want to request for this. In that view I want to display. What is my meaning is, from this index action method of your normal ASP controller, I want to call get action method of your web service API. Web API service is there where you have created get with 0 arguments. That function I want to call from here. That result I want to send. I want to display in my view. I don't want to display in JSON format. I want to display XML. Let me get the data in JSON or whatever might be, but again I will display in normal fashion on my page using my HTML code in the view. So how can I do? How I can consume this? Consuming means what? Don't get confused. You created the service I want to take. I am called as a consumer. And I am accessing your service. That is called as consuming. How to consume the service created by you from my place. That is called as consuming the web service. I mean that web API service. So how you can consume is, there are two techniques to consume the web API service. Anything is okay. One is using jQuery sets and another one is using HTTP client method. There are two techniques. So let me share my notepad where I have given this information. I think. See here, directly I have written notes. Let me write. How you can consume the seed. Now we are seeing the steps for only one demo at least we should complete. Okay. How can we consume the web API service from our index action method of home controller? So I want from, that means it is not only from this application home controller, another application also, no problem. It is not required to be in the same application, it can be from other application also, but I am doing from the same application home controller indirect action method. For that, actually, see, that means if, like that I should not write, wait, consuming web API services can be possible with two techniques. One is using jQuery, another one is using HTTP client application. So separate application I need to create, which is called as HTTP client application. I will tell you that one in the next. In this jQuery, again two techniques are there, my dear. There are two functions in jQuery. One is called as getJSON. There is a predefined jQuery method it is, okay, AZURE. And another jQuery method is there, 1.2, with which also the same task can be done with either one, okay. GetJSON and another one, method name itself is AZURE. Method name itself is AZURE, which can invoke the service that you want. So both examples we need to see, not one, right? So what I will do, we have get method with 0 arguments and get method with 1 argument. So what I will do is, for this, how to use getJSON, I will tell to invoke get with 0 arguments method to call. Okay, using this getJSON, I will try to call the get action method with 0 arguments. And using AZURE get method with 1 ID argument. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you the one, but this is pure jQuery. JavaScript code, script and /script tags inside which functions you'll write. There you have to write this JScript. That means getJSON, AZURE. These are the commands you have to give it. Is it clear? Concept clear? Concept clear means okay. Till now what you are doing? Being in web API, directly you are giving Ctrl F5 in the address bar /API/ that is not the methodology. You should write in such a way that from other action methods, how you can access this method and display. I am one action method, I want to display some content which is returned by your service. So I must have some procedure to access your function. Whatever you return I should take, and I will decorate however I like and display on my screen. So that is what our task here, consuming web API services. Is the task clear? Task clear means at least one I will try to complete, and I'll show you the code for using JSON, getJSON. So what is this means? There is one JavaScript function. See, before I'm talking this one, so in the HTML, in your index view, I will place some heading, product sets or product details or whatever heading, and I will place one text box. This text box is not required in the first case. Forget about the text box. I will not write. But only one button I will put it. Can you see this button, my dear? Button on click is equal to what is the JavaScript function to be executed? Get product JavaScript function to be executed. So what is the heading? Get products details is the heading. That is one button. When you click on that, get products JavaScript method to be executed, that should invoke the get with 0 arguments function of your web API and retrieve the value, and that retrieved value records to be displayed on the screen. So where should I display this result? For that I have kept one division. Can you see that? Not division. I have kept one. UL means what? All of you, you know that unordered list. Unordered list means bullets values. So in this unordered list, and what is the idea of that? I gave products area. My requirement is inside this UL tag, many LI elements to be added. How many LI elements means? I will call get function. When you click on this button, it is calling get products. Get products must invoke get action method. That returns how many things? 4 or 5 or 10. All these records are coming. For each record, one list item to be created and appended where? Inside this UL. UL/UL, inside this as a child element, it should be appended. One first list element should display first product details. Second list element should display second. That means there should be some for loop to be used for each record to display in this. Monica, understand the requirements first. So I am creating one view. Index view. Forget about API. Okay. I have one index view where I want one button. Okay. Get products. One button. And there will be one UL/UL and there are no elements. UL means the unordered list. You know that. But no list items. I kept empty. Unordered list I kept. And I gave the idea of that is, so what is the idea of that? I gave product area. My requirement is what I want to do now. When the user clicks on this button, get product details. When the user clicks on this, it should call a JavaScript function call. It's not predefined. Get products I have created, JavaScript. Can you see that there is a function I have created named as get products in the JavaScript in the same one? So that should be executed is my feeling. This function, what it has to do? It has to invoke our web API get function with 0 argument function. It should invoke, and that function returns some records, list of records, 4 records or 5 records, 4 products we kept actually. So 4 records it is returning. So what I have to do, after calling that, whatever result I got it, with that I should execute one function. So you can see that there is a get_JSON function. You are calling this is the values method. API/values means which method will be called? Get with 0 arguments. Default method is what?
Yes.
Right? So it is calling that function. So this get_JSON will have 2 arguments. All of you remember 2 arguments. First argument represents which action method of your controller should I call. That means /API/values indirectly get function. So from values controller call the get function with 0 arguments. It understood. It will execute also. But after execution you got some result. With that result, what should I do with that result? What should I do? That is the second argument function. This is the function which gets executed after this function got executed with whatever result you got it. That result will become as the argument of the second function, and this function immediately starts execution. After receiving the result, immediately it will start this function execution. All your records will be in this variable data. So what should I do with this data? So you tell the code what should I do. This $.e is like for each loop. You know for each loop in our C#, you know that for each loop, right? How many times it will run?
Yes.
How many records are there in your list? Those many times. Now my data is a element that may have 10 records or 20 records or 30 records that are returned by my get function. So that returned records only came here. It's a list of the record now. So I told that $each in the JavaScript, okay, jQuery .each means for each loop. Runs how many times? That's what I'm telling. Data is my source. From there, for each record, I need to execute this for each loop once. So first time, first product details completely I'll take. That first record will be taken into this key value. With that first record, I'm running this function. See, this is the function which I am calling, which is returning many records that will be taken into this data. After execution is over,
Data.
all the records will come into data and this function gets executed. When this function is getting executed, I kept one for each loop. For each record, please execute this function. I am saying for each record, this function to be executed. For each, that means it will take one record from data and put it in this key value. In the key, always it will put it in key value format. Key you leave it now. Only value is our task, but it is in the format of key value. That's why we must write as a predefined key comma value. But value is our concept. Record. Okay. My first record was stored in this val. Now from that, what I'm taking normal variable. Val.id is the first product ID. Val.p name is product name. Val.price is the price. I'm concatenating as a single string variable. Now this should be added as one list item in my ul/l inside that. So what should I do? I should append this element inside that. So how should I append? That is this is all JavaScript. That's why I'm telling jQueries you should be very thorough. Dollar is that means jQuery. So I'm saying that whatever data is there in str variable, whatever text is there in str variable, with that element you create one list item, and that list item where should I place? Append it to your element whose ID is project area. ul/ul you created. Ul name is what? ID is what? Product area. Product area you gave.
Yeah.
So that means this indirectly refers to ul. For that you are appending what element? Appending means inside as a child it will be appended. So inside ul and /ul one list item added, and the text of that li element is str. That str is my record.
STR.
One record is over. Again it will go and execute for each loop. Take the second record from data and puts in this val variable and executes this function. So second record ID, name and price are combined each together and added as one more list item for your product area. So ultimately what's happening? All the records are getting displayed in the list format inside your ul/ul which you have kept. That's what is what's happening. So what is the one? As soon as you click on the button, this get products to be called, and this get products are indirectly calling your function with the help of JavaScript function getJSON. And there are two arguments. First argument represents which action method of which control to be called. After execution is over, it will return some result. What function should I execute with that result is second. So this function, whatever a second argument you told, only gets executed after successful completion of execution of this function, whatever you call action method. That result will be passed as an argument for this function, and inside that code I'm using for each loop to take one record from there and appending as in the list format for your ul/ul element. So this is the way how you can access. So this is what I'm going to paste in that, and I'm going to explain you how. See that I explained everything. So what is my first work is you have to go to your home controller. In the home controller you should create a view for this. So right click, go to view. So I think the view is not created. So how it will go? So this is not the correct message. No. Let me create a view. Whatever, otherwise the view is there completely. I'm going to remove the complete content. I'm removing the complete content of your view. I have completely removed. Okay. What I'm going to place, I told you that I will put one button and one UL. That's it. Only two I'm not going to copy everything in the first you know that HTML, HTML. Pure one I'm writing. Head and then body. Inside the body, I want one button and one ul/ul element. So that I am going to copy. So what is this heading? That is your wish heading. If you want, you put it that heading. It's not mandatory. That is only for your sets. It's not product details page. So and then here only I am placing one button, which should call your get product function. and below to that one UIL element inside which the requested elements to be added in the list item phase. Okay, well and good. But this function to be added, JavaScript function, where should I add? In the head, script/script. Okay, inside that get products function to be added. With that, most of our work is finished. I have copied this one, so well and good. So now let us see whether it is going to work or not. Okay, whether it is working means well and good. So we'll see. Sometimes we may do small mistakes which will not allow us to run. So you got this is what you can understand by default: home controller, which action method, index action method. So that is there only I have given everything. So I got this head, and there is one UIL element, but it is not showing any element because it's an empty one. When I click on this, I'm expecting, see, got it. We got the answer. So how simple you see. So I'm click of it, get products. I'm calling in the get products $.getJSON means which is allowed to access a service. Which service you are calling is the first argument. After execution of that service, whatever it is written with that data, what should I do is the second argument. So that second argument is like a function, and one argument that receives the result written by the function. What should be done with each and every record of that received one? I'm going to, that is the one which we have to do. So one only I told, show script code please, script code. So see here, this is, you are talking about this script code. This is what I have shown in your notepad. I'm using, whenever document is ready, I am executing this function on click of the products. What is that? This is the JavaScript function getJSON, jQuery function, which is used to call a remote service function. This is the get is a function. By default, if you write till here, it means that get function with 0 arguments to be called, and after execution, whatever result is coming will be sent into this data, and this function gets executed after that is finished. And inside that for each loop, and this dot each means only for each loop. For every record of data, this function should be executed again, taking that result into this val variable, and val.id, val.pname, what, because product object you are returning, so these are all properties of that, so that is going to come. So the one demo is finished. Like that only one more demo using AZURE function, one more demo using HTTP client, separate application that is. All these we will discuss in the next class, that is on next Friday. Okay. Any doubts, you please feel free. That's what I am telling. These are advanced topics. So why line by line I am explaining, that is very, very important. AZURE group not show. How come it is so yet? 100% it will show the group name. Others are able to access the group name or not? PGPV3 _2 _AZURE, is it visible to you or not? So it will be there. Okay. This anyway I'll put it in your group. Don't worry for that, okay? Only, but rest of the commands, actually one more button that is also there, because we were not yet completed another one AJAX method. That time in this I have to do modification. So now it's time for what? Feedback. And so within this time, whatever I told, if at all AZURE subscription is completed, I will give that message in the group. When you try whatever example today I told, hosting in the AZURE, you can do that example, and whatever so many demos we have completed, do all those demos. And by next Friday when I am coming, everybody should say that 100% we completed everything. So grooming session name, what? Grooming only, ASP. That means database connectivity from ASP. Okay, is the question. Give your feedback now at 1:30 to 3:30 from Hyderabad studio. It will be telecasted. Okay. Bye all of you. Give your feedback.